Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, please don't forget to subscribe. Subscribe, like, comment, share, join the family because we do so much here and we love each other here. Anyways, in today's video I have a super detailed foundation routine. If you want your foundation looking good for the whole entire day, longevity, slayage, full coverage, beauty, like if you just want to look so good, like you have somewhere to be, you have an event to go for, you have your sister's wedding, you want to look good from 9 to 10 p.m. yeah, watch this video because I give you all the tips, tricks. I give you all the tips. I give you tips in avoiding makeup smile and creases. I give you tips and tricks to let your makeup stay all day. I give you tips and tricks in, your makeup being bright as ever. Yeah, so I'm talking too much. If you are interested in watching this video, and if you're interested in just looking like me and like getting your makeup to look as good as this, keep on watching because I promise you will not regret it. This video is so detailed, so educational, I guess. I literally teach you everything you need to know. So yeah, keep on watching. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, and yeah, let's get into the video so you can learn. We don't have time to waste, okay? Okay, I'm kind of uncomfortable in the shirt, but we're just going to begin. So starting off with brows, I'm just going to speed through. I'm going to speed through brows because I feel like you guys have seen me do my brows a lot. I need a tiny mirror. Let me use my NARS powder. So yeah, as I was saying, I feel like you guys have seen me do my brows. I take my Got to Be Good, the yellow one, not the black one. I don't know what's wrong with the black one. I've never tried using the black one, but don't break. Don't try to fix what's not broken, right? Here. I wish I could play some music. I don't want to do my makeup in silence, but YouTube. You know what YouTube is saying, guys. So it's a no. It's a huge no. Like once my brows are done, then it's just a breeze because my brows, they don't take time, but sorry guys, I'm recovering from malaria, but they don't take time. I just love them being so precise. So I'm just going to brush them up. So brows are done, but with this product, with this Got to Be, you want to make sure there's no residue, because if there's like residue on the edges and you blend out your foundation, it's just going to look dry and patchy. So I take some water. I know it's kind of ghetto, but who cares? It's my skin, it's my face, it's my mouth, it's my water. Anyway, just clean up the edges of your brows. Make sure you can use a Q-tip and your favorite, like, micellar water or whatever. Well, who has time for that? Just use water. Okay, perfect. So I already did my skincare off camera if you guys didn't clock that. I use Vaseline under my eyes. I love Vaseline under my eyes. You can use an under eye cream, which I do, but I love Vaseline under my eyes. I also used my Snail Mucin all-in-one cream for my face. So skincare is done. Like I said, I'm sick, recovering. Anyways, so next step, we're going to go in, because if you've been following me for a while, you know that I suffer from a lot of smile line creasing once my makeup is done. So I found literally the best hacks, tricks, tips, tricks to avoiding that. So let's go. I'm looking for my primer. So first thing you need, you're going to need primer. I use the e.l.f. Power Grip Primer. You can also use the Milk Grip Primer, or you can use a putty primer. Honestly, you need a primer, a gripping primer, a pore filling primer. This is what I use. And I'm just going to put a tad bit here. And just blend it out with your fingers. And make sure you blowfish. So after this step, I can't really talk too much, should just follow along, because I want to keep that blowfish motion once the primer is dried down. Now that we've set the face, you guys saw the steps that I took. I couldn't really talk because I like to keep that blowfish motion, because I just feel like once you stretched out the skin, that blowfish motion, I call it the blowfish motion, I just feel like once you stretch out the skin a lot, you just fill in the lines, like the fine lines, the natural creasing in your skin, and everything just fills in between those lines. I don't know how to explain it. I just find that it works, baby. So next things next, we're going to go in with our foundation. I've been loving this foundation combo. So I use the KVD Good Apple Balm foundation, and I use the NARS Light Reflecting Foundation in the shade Marquises. This Good Apple is in the shade Tan 074. I love this combination together. So I just take about a pump or two of my my NARS foundation, and I put it on the back of my hand, obviously, because baby, where else am I gonna put it? And then I take my Good Apple foundation. As you can see, I've been loving her. You have to really warm this up in your hand. That's what I find. So I go in about 2 to 3 times to 4 times, depending on where I'm going and the level of coverage that I need. And I just warm it up and put it at the back of my hand. Okay, so we're doing 4. We're doing 4 today. 4. And yeah, so I'm just going to mix those together at the back of my hand. I just find that the shade combination and the textures, they just give a perfect blend for me. They just give the best coverage. I don't know, I love it. It's just so buttery, chocolatey. I don't know. Anyways, so I go in 1 swipe with my foundation, and I do another swipe on the chin. And if there's excess on my finger, I just take it on my nose or, you know, wherever. But this area, I just like to be very careful. You'll know why in a minute. So I wipe off that excess. I take my foundation brush. You guys, I always use a dense brush, a dense foundation brush. I don't use a stippling brush. I don't use a beauty blender. I use a dense brush. You can use whatever dense brush you use. This is so not a brand, like it's not even a name brand. I think I got this in like school from one of those, like, you know, beauty stores in school, and honestly there's no name, no brand, but honestly you can just use whatever dense brush you have. So what you want to do, you want to literally pat in the product, like so, where it's laid, where it's set, where you've placed it, pat in the product. So do you see how I'm patting on the outer, like the outskirts of my face? Yeah. So what you want to do concerning this creasing area, you want to blowfish and then use the excess on your brush. Don't add more, just use the excess on your brush. Blowfish. See how I didn't take more foundation to add to that area, my smile line area. I just use the excess. Literally so simple. So that's literally the trick that I do to get to not get smile lines anymore. And trust me, when I say it's been working, you guys know, if you've been following me for a while, you know that I've been suffering, literal suffering with smile lines. Like I always complain about how I get smile lines when I come back from like a night out, and honestly this trick has really helped. So I'm just going to take the rest of the foundation because I showed you guys what I wanted to show you. That was like the smile line area. I'm just going to take the rest of the foundation and just put them, place it where I need. The excess at the back of my hand, I'm just going to take it under my neck, under my chin, you know, because you need to blend out. And then you can wipe off the excess at the back of your hand. Yeah, just wipe off that excess and blend out the rest of your face, girl. You guys, this sickness that I'm getting over is really kicking my butt. Like when I say I literally tried to film this video yesterday, but I was just so down. I thought it was slightly better. Turns out I wasn't. And I'm still coughing like it's so bad. Yeah, it's so bad, honestly. Well, I had to get this video out. I mean, I had to film this video today. Like, if I didn't, God knows when next I was going to have time. Excuse me. Excuse me. Okay, let's just take this band back a bit because I want this foundation to actually cover up a bit of my lace, just so it could blend in proper. And make sure I get all the creases and areas blended out. I do my final blowfish and then I go in to set and I let the spray dry. So I can't really talk through this part, so just watch. We're going in with concealer. I'm using this Zaron concealer and this shade is like pretty much very close to my skin tone. It's not even light like at all, and I go with this shade first just because I don't know, I just feel like it just gives a good base, and simply because the next concealer I'm going to use is just a tad bit too light for me. Not too light, but it's just way lighter, so I like going in with this first. And I also at the same time take this concealer, I take my brow brush and I go with this concealer and I just carve out my brows. I just find that it's the best time to carve out my brows. Like I just do this at the same time. I don't know if that's the technique that I follow, so I have to really look. So I take this, carve out my brows. I don't really like using a light concealer, like a super light concealer to cover my brows. I mean, sometimes I would if I'm like going out. I use a lighter concealer for this arch area, but if it's like a simple everyday detailed foundation look, I wouldn't really be too fussed about using a lighter concealer. And I just find that this is the best time, like I'm letting the concealer under my eyes dry down a little whilst doing this step, so it's really a win-win, huh? And then I take the excess just on the tail of the top part. I don't love concealing my top brows anymore. I just take the excess for the tail area and then I blend it out with my brush, just so it can blend in with my foundation a bit more. I never ever use a lighter concealer for my top brows. And then I take my foundation brush and I just lightly tap the top area, just ever so slightly. So now that I've let my concealer sit a bit, I take my beauty blender. I don't think I'm that mature yet. I don't think I've gotten to the point where I use a brush to blend on my concealer. I mean, I've tried. I just don't think I've gotten there. I don't think I'm there yet. So yeah, I still use my beauty blender. I don't use a brush for my concealer. I mean, I want to try because I've heard that the coverage is like a lot better than using just a beauty blender. But for now, my girl to the rescue. So I just go under my eyes and I blend out the concealer, literally. You guys excuse the noise in the background. It's so ghetto. It's so ghetto. Man, she's really kicking my butt. I am so unwell. I feel better, but I'm not 100% healthy. And then I just go at the top of my eyelids and I blend out the concealer that we use to carve out our brows and the concealer I placed at the top there. You see? Everything makes sense. Everything makes sense. Just trust the process. Trust the process. Okay, that's blended. That's blended enough. So moving on to cream contour now. Once we've put that, you know, shade match concealer, this is the time where I usually cream contour. So I'm going to take the NARS cream contour in Laguna 04. It's a bronzing cream in Laguna 04, and I just put this in like specific strategic areas, which you will see would help out. Like once everything meshes in the end, you find that this really helps. Like if you place these in strategic areas, you find that it's like the best thing you can do. So I take a brush. Some people can like going in with their blending brush. Like they go in with the blending brush and just tap into the cream bronzer, but I like going in with a more precise brush and just swipe, and just I put it in the areas slightly above my jawbone, literally right there, just slightly above my jawbone, as you can see. And then I take the next side, go slightly above my jawbone. I don't go too deep because I don't like that deep of a contour. I just go, you know, like this. Then for my nose area, I do this wolfy vibe. Uche Natori calls it wolfy vibe. I don't know what she means by wolfy vibes, but I just love the way she contours her nose. So I just take it here. I mean, I do this as well. I used to do this, but I never called it wolfy vibes. So I just take it there and I drag it down a bit, you know, right there. Let it sit, let it marinate. And then last step, forehead. Not last step, I'm sorry. Semi-last step. Forehead. Take it on the forehead. Take it on the chin. And the bridge of our jawline. Like so. So if you want to take a screenshot, okay, these are the areas where you really want to cream contour. I'm going to blend these out in a bit and you will see why you really want to, you know. Oh, I forgot. Lastly, we do here. I take it here literally right here. Right here. I know it's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy. But trust me, putting it here makes such a difference. Okay, so I had to turn off my camera really quickly. Not really quickly because it started warning me that I was overheating. I just hope my setup didn't move around because I had to move this light, which just blinded me badly. I had to move the light from directly above the camera. Anyways, I just hope the setup wasn't messed up. But anyways, I'm going in with my Hudabeauty brush. These brushes don't have numbers, but if you get the set, it looks like this. So I'm just going to blend out that contour. The contour has been sitting, baby, sitting. I usually don't leave her sitting, but it's not that serious. This contour, this bronzer from NARS blends out like butter. So I'm just going to take this dense, it's quite dense, but it's not as dense as my foundation brush, but it's pretty dense, and I just blend out the bronzer that I left sitting. I don't like moving them around too much. I just blend it out in the areas where I place them, like this. I don't really like moving her around too much. Literally just blend out where you placed your contour. And this contour, this, I keep calling it contour, it's a bronzer. This bronzer blends out like a dream, like blends out so amazingly. I'm obsessed. So yeah, just blend out in like the areas where you placed her. Okay, so for my nose contour and my eyelid contour, I use a smaller, denser brush. Give me a minute, let me find the brush. Okay, so I use, this is also from Hudabeauty, and it's just smaller. It's dense, but it's just smaller. So I just take her, because I just like to be more precise with these areas, and I don't really like moving her around too much. So yeah, just take this brush, dense, precise, smaller, and you blend the areas like these, you know, like the eyelid area. Just blend it out, blow it out. Okay, so what I really like to do while blending out my cheek contour, I just go from cheek to jaw, cheek to jaw, cheek to jaw, because it just, everything just connects and everything just vibes together. So, you know, cheek, jaw, cheek, slightly here, jaw, and everything just blends together. You see, this connects to this, this connects to this, and this connects to this, and then this connects to this. So everything just makes sense in the end, but even in the beginning. I'm going to use my Twoface Born This Way concealer in the shade Sand. You guys, this concealer is the truth. She's so full coverage, literally so full coverage. So I just place her right under my eyes. Just focus on your placements. I place her right here, just to get like a sharp line right below that contour, and then I place her right above my cheekbones, and I let that sit and marinate. And whilst I'm letting that sit and marinate, I'm going in with a bit of that bronzer. I'm putting that right above my lip, because I just find it makes my lip look a bit bigger, especially when I put in my eyeliner, like my lip liner. Once I apply my lip liner, it just, honestly, everything just blends together real cute, and I'm obsessed. So I'm just going to let my concealer sit for like a minute, not too long, just a minute. I'm going to go with a sponge. Like I said, I've been said this, I don't use a brush to blend out my concealer. I'm not there yet. So I just use a beauty blender. Honestly, I love the black beauty blenders, and I just find that this, it just blends out so well. I don't know how to explain it. I've never been a brush girl for concealer. I've always been a brush girl for foundation though, but for concealer, it's really no. And what I do after blending out my under eye, the excess, I just take it at the top here, literally right here in the corner. As you can see, I don't go here. I just take it at the top here. And basically what I'm trying to do here is, this step is going to serve as an eyeshadow look. It's going to serve like eyeshadow here, light eyeshadow here. You'll see it in the end, but just do this, honestly. I promise you, you're going to love the results. But yeah, I just blend out my concealer. And if you don't make an ugly face while blending out your concealer, are you even blending? That's what I'm saying. And the excess amount from the nose contour, I just take it slightly on my forehead. I don't like my forehead being too light. I don't like putting a lot of concealer there. But the excess from my nose, I can just take it and just blow out like the bits on the forehead, if you catch what I'm saying. I'm going to go back with that bronzing balm, a bronzer, liquid cream bronzer that we use, and I'm going to take the brush that I used to blend it out. I'm just going to go in lightly and just go over the areas where you bronze, so it can just merge the concealer and the bronzer together. Just a bit, because we don't want the concealer to overpower the bronzer. So we're just going to take it lightly in the areas where we bronzed, just so the concealer and bronzer can merge and just, I don't know what words to use, but basically so they can merge, literally, precisely. We'll take that tiny brush and go back in with our Wolfie vibes, like so. Nothing too serious, just intensify the areas where you previously cream bronzed, so we don't take away, because I just love the bronzy look and we don't want to take away from that. We don't. I use my triangular puff, love this stuff, and I actually mix my setting powders a lot, honestly. It depends on my mood, it depends on like what I'm feeling that day. So I like going with my Hudabeauty, my Laura Mercier, or my One Size. Today I think I'm going to do the Laura Mercier and the Hudabeauty setting powder. So we're just going to take this, we're going to tap some out, go in with my powder puff, tap tap tap, and always tap the excess at the back of your hand. And always, before you set, make sure to blend. Make sure to blend out those creases before you go in and set. Honestly, you need to blend. Okay. Once you're positive you're done blending, make sure you tap off the excess and yeah, go. Another trick that I love to do is literally going in with my Laura Mercier Airbrush powder. It's the Airbrush brightening powder. I love going in with this before going in with the loose powder. I do both steps, honestly, depends on my mood. So I'm just going to show you what it looks like when I do the Laura Mercier on this side of the eye. So you want to blend out, of course. Blend out the excess. Do both tricks depending on my mood. Make sure you tap off the excess. And just pat, pat, pat. This is supposed to add like that extra level of brightness to your under eye, but truth be told, I don't know if it's really doing anything. I mean, I guess I can see the brightness, but is it really doing anything? For longevity, you want to always set and you want to always spray. But honestly, I just do it. Make sure you do the final blowfish before you go in with your setting powder tap off the excess and so this is what the face is looking like right now. I'm going to set my nose bridge, the bridge of my nose and my forehead. For this, I'm going to use my Hudabeauty Easy Bake Powder in the shade Blondie. I used to use Banana Bread, but I just find that I prefer Blondie, honestly. So yeah, once I ran out of Banana Bread, I purchased Blondie. So I'm going to take this, tap off the excess, and just go down the bridge of your nose. I love contouring my nose. I just find that it gives a lot more definition to my nose than I already have. And just tap the excess on your forehead. And the excess you can go and tap on the cream bronzer right before you add the powder bronzer. I just like doing that because I just find that when I put a little bit of powder before going in with my bronzing powder, it just leaves a less muddy look. So I'm going to go in with that Hudabeauty once again and go under my eye, and I'm going to slightly bake, slightly. Before I set my eyelid, I'm going to go in with my beauty blender and just blend out any creasing I may have. And I'm going to go in with that little brush that we use for the bronzer and just blow out anything that we need to blow out before we set the powder. I'm just going to blend out the creasing like so. And then I go in with my Hudabeauty once again, tap off the excess and literally just set your eyelid. Nothing too crazy, just set your eyelid. You can bring that down. And I'm also going in with that Charlotte Tilbury powder again, just so I'm setting the excess areas where I put cream and I'm not going to bronze, and just to brighten a bit. I also take it slightly under my jawline, like so. It's literally reverse contouring. Yeah, just taking little. I don't like going too excess under my jawline, just a little bit. Okay, so you can see the face looks so good. Like, wow. Baby. Slade ate that. Anyway, so we're going to move on with our NARS bronzer. It's also the Laguna bronzer, but in the shade 07. I'm going to take a big what brush? Okay, so I'm going to take in this big fluffy brush. This is a Real Techniques brush. I don't know if Real Techniques is still in business. I actually don't know, but I've had this brush for forever. It's a Real Tech brush. I don't know what number, I don't know, it looks like this. I just take a fluffy brush, but not so big. I go in with my NARS Laguna bronzer, and I also go in with my CoverGirl Full Spectrum bronzer, and I literally just, I just go in both. I just go. I tap off the excess, like so, and I just go in the areas where we bronzed, literally. The areas where you placed your cream bronzer, you really just want to go in those areas. I feel like the forehead is like the area where I go ham with bronzer, because I just love my forehead looking bronze. But the reason why I mix this NARS Laguna 07, I actually got the wrong shade, because you know, once you're ordering online, you really need to do a lot of shade like research in order to get your perfect shade match. And I did my research. I was pretty good with other items that I got online, but this Laguna bronzer, she's a bit too red for me. She's just a tad bit too red for me. And this CoverGirl bronzer, she's like a perfect shade for me. So I just mix them both because I love the consistency that they both give. So That's really why I love mixing them. But I mean, if you can find your perfect bronzing shade for the NARS Laguna bronzer, you're lucky. Go on, baby. Go on with your NARS bronzer. So switching over to this Estee Lauder double-sided brush. I got this brush when I went to Essenza to buy my Estee Lauder foundation, which let's not talk about that. But yeah, so it's a double-sided. I don't really love double-sided brushes because I find like when you place your brush in your brush holder, the side you're placing at the bottom just tends to lose. But this brush has really held up her shape. She's really held up her shape, and yeah, anyways, she's a really good brush. She's so soft. She does the job. I'm just going to take the skinnier side of the brush and I'm going to go in with my bronzer, and I'm going to show you how everything, the placements we made, blends in together. Go to my bronzer, tap off the excess, and this area where you place the cream bronzer, you're literally just going to blow it out like this. Literally, do you see? Girl, literally just blow it out like this, and it just serves like an eyeshadow look without the extra effort. Like, remember when we placed our Tilbury light powder on our loose powder here, and then now we're placing the bronzing powder at the edge, so it just looks like a blown out eyeshadow look. I don't know how to explain this. It's just so good. If you know me, you know I don't do eyeshadow, but this literally just serves as a perfect eyeshadow look. Can you see what I'm saying? Do you see what I'm saying? Eat down. So yeah, that's the first thing. So that's what we're using this brush to do. It's literally so good. I just love it. I hate doing eyeshadow. I just find it unnecessary, and I just don't think eyeshadow suits me a lot, but this just serves like an eyeshadow. It looks like you put in effort, but you really didn't do too much. You just knew what you were doing, right? Yeah. Okay. Perfect. Do you see that? We're going with either of these two brushes. So it's like this more tapered, fluffy brush, and it's like this more fluffy brush. I don't know where these brushes are from. Oh, this is an e.l.f. brush. This is an e.l.f. crease brush. Ooh. I don't do foundations. I don't do eyeshadow, so it's an e.l.f. crease brush, and this is just a random brush. I've had this brush for forever, honestly. So I go in with that bronzer, and I just go in where we placed our cream contour. Just go in with the wolfy vibes, according to, I don't know what wolfy means, but wolfy vibes. Like she says wolfy vibes, so we say wolfy vibes because you know she's like the base queen. Anyways, I just dragged this down my nose. And pro tip, actually got this tip from a friend. If you don't want your nose contour to be like super duper harsh, obviously go in with a light hand, but if you find that you're going in with a light hand and your nose contour just keeps coming out a bit too harsh, pro tip, go in with whatever bronzer powder you're using, right? And go in with your face powder. So I use the MAC Mineralized Skinfinish powder in dark deep A3. So once you go in, dip in your bronzer, you dust that out. You also go in with your all-around face powder, and then you know, contour your nose. It just gives a perfect blend, and it's just less harsh. I learned this from a friend, and yeah, it was really good advice, because sometimes my nose contour came out a bit too harsh that I wanted, and this was just a good step. She flew right out of my hand. It was just a good step, but make sure you're also tapping off the excess powder. And then I take that e.l.f. brush, which is more tapered, and I just go in and I go, like, I use it for like the bridge of my nose, because she's more tapered, she's more skinny, she's just going to get more precise areas. And once I'm done with my nose contour, I go back in with that dense brush and I just do the top of my lip, because I find that it just makes my lip look a lot bigger, especially once you put your lip liner. Honestly, it adds to the effect of a more pouty lip. The back of my beauty blender and just dip it in my loose powder, and I'm just going to run this on my nose just so my nose contour is a bit more snatched and detailed. You have to do this lightly though. It has to be one line. Ooh. You can always correct it. Yeah, so you want that looking snatched and you want that to sit for a while before you dust it off. Before I go in with my setting spray, I like taking a skinny brush. Honestly, it could be any skinny brush you use. I go in between this brush or this brush. Literally any skinny brush that can literally go under your eyelid. So I just take the brush, go in my bronzer, tap off the excess, and I just go directly under my eyelid, like so. To go back with this one, take it and run that under my eyelid. And honestly, I just find that it ties everything together, and it just ties everything together. I've always done this step. I love this step, and I don't use an eyeshadow for this. I just use my bronzer. I love using my bronzer for this. It's just a good trick. You don't need an eyeshadow for this. Just use your bronzer. If you're not doing these stupid faces, are you even blended? You can see how everything ties together real nice. Usually I would have gone in with a cream blush, but honestly, cream blush depends on my mood. It depends on where I'm going, depends on what vibes I'm feeling. So cream blush is not something I would do every day. So yeah, that's why I didn't go with the cream blush. But anyways, we're going to go in with this brush. No, not this brush. This brush from, I think it's a Real Tech brush. I don't know. I don't really have a number of powder blushes. So we're just going to go in with this sleek blush. It's this Trio blush Pink Sprint. It's called Pink Sprint. I don't know if they still sell this. This is so old. So old. I'm just going to go in with these two shades at the edge. Tap off, literally tap off the excess. I'm going to put on a smile. And we're just going to run this. Just to give like a subtle blushy look. We're just going to run this. Now that we're done sweeping our blush, this is the only time that you want to sweep. Don't sweep during foundation, don't sweep during concealer, don't sweep while blending your cream bronzer, but you can sweep while applying your blush. So we're going to go back with this Estee Lauder double-sided brush. So we use the tiny side for our, eyelid contour situation. So we're going to use the bigger side for our under eyes and just little bit. So I'm going to take these two powders here. This is my Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush powder and my MAC Studio Mineralized Skinfinish powder. I'm going to take the Charlotte Tilbury, right? Slightly dab, tap it off. And I'm just going to go under my eyes. Under my eyes, just ever so slightly. And I'm going to take my MAC powder and I'm just going to go underneath my jawline. That's my contour area. Ever so slightly. Literally, it makes a difference. You don't think it makes a difference, but trust me, it makes a difference. And I'm going to go in, tap ever so slightly, and just tap off that excess powder on my nose. And you see the blend. Do you see the blend? It looks so good. And I kid you not, these little steps that you take just make the most difference. Like, they make such a difference that you wouldn't even know like they're making, but they make a difference in the end, trust me. You want to take another fluffy, slightly dense brush. This is also a no-name brush. I don't know where I got this. I've had this brush since literally uni days. You want to go in with your finishing powder. I use the MAC Mineralized Skinfinish powder, like I said, and just tap in lightly, ever so lightly on your neck area, obviously places like that you need a finishing powder, your cheek area, your above top lip area, here slightly underneath your jawline, and lightly tapping, you know, just blending where you've contoured, where you've highlighted, just so you get a smooth, seamless finish. Literally, trust me, you want to do this step because these finishing powders, they're made for a reason. They're finishing powders for a reason, baby. They merge your your contour, highlight, blush. They merge everything together, so you don't want to skip this step. Another palette that I would recommend is the Sephora Micro Smooth powder. I actually just placed an order for that powder and I can't wait to get it in the mail. Like, apparently she's so good and I've heard so many good things that I can't wait. Once you've blended out all that powder, we're going to do our double set. I use 2 sprays to set for now. So I use the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Setting Spray, and I use the Morphe Continuous Setting Spray. So I take this Morphe Setting Spray and I just this spray really just melts everything in the skin. It leaves your skin looking a lot less powdery, honestly, a lot less powdery. So I just blow that out. Ooh, this is just a cardboard. Use whatever. I have a fan, but I'm too lazy to stand up to go get that fan. Use whatever you have. Fan this out, fan this out. And then before I go in with my second set, I take my triangle powder puff. I go in with my setting powder. I use the Hudabeauty, Mercies, anything you need. I go in once again, that blowfish motion. Once you see that blowfish motion, you know what we're trying to achieve. I go in with my blush brush just to give that final once again, going with that setting triangle puff. And then we can do our final, not our final set, but you know, we're gonna set. So it's time to sort out our brows. I don't do too much on my brows. I love the look of when I, you know, gel up, sleek up my brows and all, but I had to fill them in because once I put in the powders and everything, it just looks muted. So I don't do too much. I just take this pencil. If you live in Nigeria, you know what brow pencils. I don't use any special brow pencils. These pencils are so cheap. They're like 300 naira. Literally in any beauty supply store you can find in Lagos. So if you know, you know. If you know, you know. These are the brow pencils I use 9 times out of 10. I mean, they can deviate a bit, but this is what I mainly use. I make sure I sharpen them and get like a really sharp tip. And then I go in the bottom of my brows and I just carve out, like, I just draw a line just to carve out the natural shape of my brows. I'm gonna go in with the second side, the other side. I just carve out the natural shade of my brows whilst the pencil's still sharp. Oh my god. I take that and I draw a bit of strokes here in front. Light strokes. You don't want anything too crazy. Just lightly draw just to carve out my natural brow shape. Yeah, so that's pretty much all I do to my brows. If I see some sparse areas like here, I just go in with some light strokes just to fill them in. And honestly, light strokes to fill them in. Like, this is dark enough. I don't like my brows looking too crazy dark. Once we're done with our brows, I like going in with my powder puff and just setting everything, my last bit of setting. Okay, so I set everything and then I go in with my One Size Until Dawn setting spray. This spray is the truth. When I tell you she's the truth. I also want to try the L'Oreal 3 minutes or 3 second setting spray, and I also want to try the Krylon. I'll put the pictures up. I tried to place an order for them actually, but they're actually out of stock. They're sold out, which is so sad, but I really want to try these. But this is also like, this is so good. One Size Beauty setting spray is so good. So I just oh my god, that smell is intense, you guys. I kid you not, it's such an intense smell, but it really lasts all day. Going in with my Zaron 4-in-1 mascara. I just take lightly the mascara and I run that through my already raggedy, jagged lashes. Honestly, my lashes is something. Lashes, good lashes, straight, curly, whatever, nice lashes is something I was not blessed with at all. But I make do with what I have. I was not blessed with nice lashes at all, you guys. My brother and sisters, both my sisters and my younger brother, they all have such nice lashes. Like, my younger sister has such curly, long, nice lashes. My brother also has really curly, long lashes, and my older sister has such nice lashes. I literally am the only one that got scattered, messy, ugly lashes. Well, it's fine. I don't care. I don't let it get me down because it's not that serious. They're just lashes. I mean, if I'm going out, I wear false lashes anyway, so I don't care. I go in with whatever false lashes I feel like, and I go in with whatever lash glue I feel like, and I just place that on the band of the lash, and I let that sit on my tweezer. Oh, messy. I let that sit on my tweezer. But whilst I'm doing that, honestly, just let that sit, and then I'll come back and talk to you guys once I've applied my lashes, because I can't really talk and apply lashes. That's just not a skill I have. I'm sorry. Yeah, no. I can never do my lashes without steaming myself with some glue. But a trick I learned from a professional makeup artist online, she always says always tight line. Tight line is like tight lining, like putting eyeliner in your water eyeliner. I don't know how to explain it, but I always put eyeliner on the top, but I always do this step. So we're moving on to lips now. This is like my fave part, because this is the part where you can play with it a lot. You can use different colors, different shades. I just love lips so much. But I'm leaning towards the nude side. I'm going to take my Zaron lip liner and this regular lip liner that everyone has, and I'm just going to line my lips. It's so easy, so simple. I kind of slightly overline my lips now. I never used to do this, but I've started doing this in the past month, and I love the way it looks on me. So I just go slightly above my lip line like this, ever so slightly. Do you see the difference? Ever so slightly. And yeah, I take this lip liner as my first shade because it's the darkest shade. Then I go with my Zaron lip liner on my bottom lip, because it's a bit more brown and creamy, and I go above that lip liner there. And there we have our base shade. Then I go in with a black with a black lip liner. I know it's a lot of lip liners. I only put the black lip liner at the top layer. Then I go back with this lip liner. Then from this step, the world is really your oyster. You can do whatever shade you want to do. I'm thinking I want to do more of a nudie shade. So I'm going to take my Kiko Milano lip gloss in the shade 3D Hydra. I'm just going to go and put this in the center and blend this out. She's so perfect. Like, oh my god. She's everything. She's such a perfect nude. I think I did good with this lip combo. So, last step or semi-last step. If you want to take your makeup to the next level, this is something that I learned on, I think it was TikTok or Instagram. She's also an Instagram influencer, I don't know. She literally goes in with her Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush powder. I use the under eye powder, and I just take this little tapered fluffy brush from Mohini Beauty kind of, and I just dust off the excess, and I just go directly under my eye. Remember, if you're not making stupid faces, you're not doing it right. So I just go in like areas that I would love to highlight, just ever so slightly. And yeah, do you see the difference? I don't know if you can see the difference, but I see the difference, and there is a difference. Then I'm going to take my NYX ink liner. I'm just going to put this in areas where I naturally have, you know, spots or like beauty marks naturally. And if I had a pimple or two, I will put this where I wanted to cover up that pimple, like these pimples on my forehead. You like, but just remember, don't go too crazy now. Don't go too crazy. When damn near done, you can just go in with like finishing, tweaking, you know, a little bit of blush. You can slightly, ever so slightly, just touch up your contours or like areas you want to touch up. Just, you know, just tweaks, just little tweaks, but honestly, we're done. Do you guys see this face? Tell me you are not obsessed with the way this makeup turned out. Like, especially that base, like, it looks so good. Like, look at the details, look at all the placements, like the bronzer placements, the highlighter placements. Do you see everything come together like beautifully, nicely? I don't have words. I don't have words. I have no words, but I know it looks so stunning. Look. Oh my god, you guys. I'm obsessed with the routine. I'm obsessed with the makeup routine. Like, so good. You guys, the base literally was the stepping stool, like the step stool to get here. If you didn't slay your base, literally take it off, redo it, do it again. But oh my god, I look so good. Thank you guys so much for watching. And don't forget, you can ask me anything you want to ask in the comments. If you don't have the products that I specifically use, honestly, an alternative products can work if you just know what you're doing and if you blend out nicely. And you know, good quality products obviously matter, but you can always finesse with an alternative product if you don't have what I use. But look at the face, look at the material, look at the material. I don't know if I'm going to take off this headband, but comment below what you guys think. Did I eat or did I devour? Yeah, don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, share this video if you can. Save this video obviously because you're going to need it for your next night out, your first date, your night out, your date night, your girls night, whatever, you're going to need this. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye. 8. I want to see this face. Like, do you see the material? Do you see the blend? Do you see?